Hello, lovelies. Happy Wellness Wisdom Wednesday. I'm Donya Fahmy, and I'm the Alchemist in Chief at Sustainable Health Solutions Incorporated and Dropwise Essentials. I'm also known as a natural health expert and a lifestyle transformation facilitator. And I'm here with you live today to talk about 5 ways you can spring clean and detox your home. And by that, I mean how to identify and eliminate areas, how to identify areas in your home where there are hidden allergens and hidden health hazards and how to eliminate or reduce them, right? So you know that saying, with April showers comes May flowers. So you know that when spring is coming in, that ushers in the beginning of allergy season, right? And so for most people who suffer from allergies, especially seasonal allergies, you're probably thinking to yourself, there's really not much I can do about that. It's out of my control. I'm allergic to the stuff and it's all over the place. And, the best thing I can do is take my allergy medication and just kind of muddle through and deal. And believe me, I know what it was like, because I struggled for probably about 2 decades, maybe even a little bit more, with allergies and upper respiratory issues. And I used to pop antihistamines, like they were candy, like regularly. For years I did this, and I used those nasal sprays, I'm forgetting, like Afrin. I can't even remember the names of them now because it's been that long since I've used one of those. And it wasn't until I had my healing crisis, which came in the form of eczema, some of you may already know that catapulted me onto a path of natural health and wellness. And I gave up all that stuff. I stopped taking the antihistamines. I stopped taking, the sprays, what have you. And I'm here to tell you that there are things that you can do to alleviate the symptoms of your allergy and maybe even overcome them. Because honestly, I don't have allergies anymore. And it's not to say I don't get occasional sinus issues or head colds, that kind of thing. I do. But allergies as a regular kind of recurring thing is no more a part of my life. So I'm excited to share with you some information that I think will help you with that today. So, excuse me. I am going to focus today on 5 areas in your home, or 5 things in your home that you need to pay attention to. And of course, I'll share some tips and some ideas or suggestions, and as well as some of my favorite products in those areas to help you, again, reduce and eliminate the exposure and hopefully help you overcome or deal with your allergies. So there's 2 components to this. There's 2 parts to this. There's the chemicals and toxins that are in a lot of the areas in your home that you may not even be aware of, and you may be aware of some of them, I don't know. But those are things that weaken your lungs and your upper respiratory system. And doing it at this time of the year when you're prone to allergies is like doing it at a time when it can least handle it. So the first thing to do is get rid of the chemicals and the toxins and replace them with kinder, gentler alternatives. And then the next thing, of course, is to eliminate or reduce the amount of allergens in your home, because the hidden allergens in your home, things like dust mites and such, actually may be just as triggering you just as much, if not more, than the blooms of, the seasonal blooms of spring and summer. So it's really important to kind of get a handle on that and do whatever you can to fix that. So let's get started. I'm going to cover a lot, by the way, so you might want to grab a pen and a piece of paper. And if you're not somewhere where you can do that right now, I suggest that you save the video so that you can easily find it later on and watch it and take the notes of what is of interest to you or what you might find useful. And by the way, please share this post or tag someone you know who either struggles with allergies or other upper respiratory issues like bronchitis, asthma, or anyone you know who's just really interested in learning how to make their home a little bit of a safer and less toxic environment. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1 is the common household cleaning and laundry products. And boy, this is a big one, right? Because we use a lot of these products, right? Every day, everything from laundry detergent and fabric softeners to dishwashing liquid, to all-purpose cleaners, disinfectants, mold and mildew removers, you name it, oven cleaners. There's so many. There's a wide range of products that most of us use, and most of those, sadly, most of those products have a lot of toxic substances in there that are harmful to your upper respiratory system. They contain ingredients that, if not used with great caution, can not only irritate but actually burn your eyes, your nose, your lungs, your skin. So this is the thing I say, I like to say the nose knows, right? So the nose knows. So pay attention to what your nose is telling you. So when you smell a product that has kind of a strong, overpowering, maybe noxious or even nauseating or sickening smell, that's a red flag and a sign for you that that product is toxic and it's time to find a kinder, gentler alternative to that. And some of these ingredients, like these are ammonia, chlorine, bleach, and then some other ones that you may not be as familiar with, like benzene and toluene, and that's just a few of the many ingredients that are in those products. They have been, not only do they irritate you and could potentially burn you, they have been linked in research studies with reproductive system damage, with central nervous system damage, things like memory loss, and increased risk for different types of cancer. So if that's not a good enough reason or motivation for you to perk up and pay attention and make some changes there, I don't know really what is. But anyway, pay attention to what your nose is telling you. But here's a rub. It's like, I don't know, for years now, over the years, decades, our whole lives, we've sort of been conditioned, maybe even a little bit brainwashed into associating those strong, obnoxious smells with strength and effectiveness, right? So, like if it doesn't have that strong, icky smell, it must not be doing the job right? It's not killing the germs. It's not making everything spick and span clean. Who knows what I'm talking about here? Give me a like if you know what I'm talking about and you agree. We've come to, again, associate these things with strength and effectiveness. But the truth is those noxious smells are harmful for you. They're harmful for your family and your pets, especially if you use them on a regular basis. And let's face it, don't we all use these products on a regular basis? The good news is that there are now a lot of greener, alternatives that you can choose from. And not all of them are created equal, in my opinion. But it's always better to... my philosophy is just keep moving in the direction of better, healthier options. There's no rule or pressure that says you got to do it this way or you got to do it all at once. Just baby steps. So if you start looking for products from trusted brands that make them plant-based and free of ammonia, free of chlorine, and free of phosphates, that's really kind of the first step in the direction of eliminating your exposure to those hazards from your everyday products. And I want to share with you for a minute some of my favorite products. Let's start with some laundry products. This thing here, amazing. This is the Smart Clean Laundry Ball. And I got to tell you, I bought this I think it was like 5 years ago. I got it at a Green Festival. It is like this plastic thing, and if you can hear it, it's got minerals and other things in here that naturally clean your laundry. So you toss this in your washing machine with your laundry, no soap, no detergent, just this, okay? And it does an amazing job of cleaning your clothes, okay? And then they tell you, every now and then you want to put it out in the sun for 10 minutes, maybe a half an hour, because the sun sort of re-energizes or reactivates the minerals that are in here. So honestly, I don't know exactly what's in here, but it works great. And when you buy this, they tell you, I think it's good for like 365 loads of laundry, and that's about the time when you're supposed to replace it with a new one. I don't do a ton of laundry. I don't have kids or family, a lot of laundry that I need to do. So this has lasted me for a very, very long time. Now, the only downside to this is if you have stains on your clothes and you put like some kind of stain remover on there and then you throw it in here, the stains don't come out. So it's not very effective for that. So what I do is I save clothes that have stains that need to be stain treated, and I treat them with a stain remover, and then I use this other lovely product. Oops, sorry. Vasca. And this is a liquid laundry detergent, but they also make one that's a powder form that's like these tablets. So that liquid one I showed you was lavender scented. These are unscented. So they're like your powdered laundry, but they're a little bit more easier to work with, and you can break them in half if you have a small laundry. You can put these are unscented, by the way. I think they may make these in lavender as well. But this is a natural product that's phosphate free. It's gentle, and I love it. I love these two things. They're like one of the two things that kind of revolutionized or changed my life. And the nice part about the detergent, the laundry detergent, and it doesn't leave a strong scent in your clothes the way that some of those other really harsh, heavy-duty laundry detergents can, and fabric softeners. So be careful when you're doing that. Just think about that. And then when it comes to just everyday household cleaning, I love this particular product, Bon Ami. And then it's a powdered, non-abrasive powder cleanser. This is non-toxic. It has no smell. It's very gentle. It's just as effective as using Ajax or Comet or any one of those nasty powdered cleansers, scrubs, and you don't have all the nasty side effects from that. And so what I do is I take all you need is like a 3M scouring pad. I buy them in these large sizes, and then I cut them up into thirds or whatever size works for me. And I use them in the kitchen. I use them in the bathroom. You use just a little bit of the Bon-Ami powder, and then you scrub it with a 3M pad, and you can remove all kinds of buildup and gunk in your tub, your tiles, your kitchen sink. So this is like a godsend thing here. And then the other thing that I typically use, a multi-purpose cleaner, 7th generation. So 7th generation is one of the brands I recommend. I know they're not like ideal in the minds of very green people, but they are pretty decent, and they make their products with gentle ingredients, phosphate-free, all that kind of stuff. And the other thing about this is that it's actually really easy to make your own solutions, cleaning solutions. So do-it-yourself kind of thing. All you need is like white vinegar, lemon juice, some essential oils, some baking soda. These are all ingredients that work very well, very effectively at cleaning and scrubbing. And if you want to supercharge your own homemade solution and make it a little more, add more disinfecting power to it, then I suggest adding tea tree essential oil, a couple of drops of that, and maybe a couple of drops of lemon essential oil. And if you want something that's just pleasant smelling, nice smelling in your cleaning, then I would do lavender and orange. And by the way, lavender and orange essential oils are actually really helpful for alleviating allergy symptoms as well. So you get you get more bang for your buck, right? So you get the nice smelling, safe home cleaning product that also helps you with your allergies. I think that's pretty cool, right? Who agrees with me? Give me a like if you know what I'm talking about. Who here actually makes their own products? I'd be curious to know. Want to know if you're making your own home cleaning products, and if you are, how does it compare to the nasty chemical cleaning products you used to use before you switched over to making your own? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so let's move on to the second area, and this is kind of another big one. This is that scented air fresheners and candles, scented candles. Okay, so many of us like to burn candles, and many of us use air fresheners, all different manner of air fresheners. But I call some of these things fake aromatherapy products. Your Glade plugins, your aerosol sprays, things and gels and that kind of thing. Most of those products are made with synthetic fragrance and synthetic chemicals that are actually quite harmful for you. And this is really important because they contain a harmful ingredient called phthalates. I know it's a mouthful. It's PHTHALATES, phthalates. And phthalates are basically they're components of the word fragrance. So if you're reading on the label of the product and it says fragrance or parfum, P-A-R-F-U-M, which is the fancy French word for perfume, you don't know if they contain phthalates or not because it's a component, so it's not required by the FDA to be listed on the label. And phthalates are used as plasticizers. That means they're used in industry to soften plastics. Let me just think. I want you to think about this for a minute. If this ingredient can be used to soften plastics, can you imagine what it might do when it's inside your body, in your lungs, or even in your skin? Because scented personal care products are, but the vast majority of them are also made with synthetic fragrances, right? So I know I wouldn't want to have anything like that floating around in my body or to knowingly inhale that. Would you? I mean, why, right? So here's the rub, and it's a tip at the same time. If you want to make sure you're not being inadvertently exposed to phthalates, you need to buy products that either say phthalate-free, mouthful, on the label or the packaging somewhere on there, or it's got to be made with 100% pure essential oils. Now, this is important because a lot of companies do what we call like greenwashing, and that means they put information on the label that's designed to make the product look a lot more environmentally safe and greener than it really is. So you've got to be really careful, and you've got to read the labels. Don't buy products that are made with essential oils and fragrance. Just buy products made with pure essential oils. That's the key. That's the only way you can be 100% safe and know that you're not being inadvertently exposed to this really harmful thing. So phthalates fall into a class of ingredients called endocrine disrupting chemicals, or EDCs for short. And EDCs have been shown in many, many studies to interfere with our reproductive hormones. They affect fertility. They've been shown in laboratory labs to create reproductive organ damage, and they've even been linked to breast cancer. And that's a whole other topic for another day. But phthalates there are and other endocrine disrupting chemicals are pretty common and widespread in many personal care products as well as household products. So that's a main hazard that you probably won't hear much about, and I wanted to make sure that I brought that to light for you. So again, beware, and this is one area where your nose may not be so savvy, right? Like, remember I said earlier, the nose knows. When it comes to the synthetic ingredients, sometimes it's easy for the nose to be fooled. Something may seem like it smells good to you, but if it's made with a synthetic fragrance that has phthalates in it, then it really isn't good for you. So you got to be a little bit careful on this. It's well worth your while, if you really care, to spend a little bit of time training your nose on how to tell the difference between a natural scent and a chemical scent. Yeah, and so that takes a little bit of work, but hey, what doesn't? So who knows what I'm talking about when I'm talking about fake aromatherapy, by the way. That's a big one for me, obviously, as I'm the aromatherapy gal. And you know what? Knowing how to read and decipher a product label is an important part of being able to figure this stuff out if you're not as dependent or you don't trust your nose quite as much. And that's something we go into in a lot more depth and great detail in my upcoming membership program, the Sustainable Wellness Success Circle. And so let's talk about the candles just briefly, because if you want to know more, tune in next week. I'm going to focus on how to tell if your candles are toxic or not, and which ones are safe and which one are not. But candles also are made with synthetic fragrances, and many of them contain wicks that have lead in them, which is a neurotoxin, or arsenic, other metals, and I'll explain in the next session why. It's not like a nefarious reason, it's just a practical reason. But that's an important thing. So if you're going to do scented candles, they should be scented with pure essential oils as well. And I'll talk about that more next week. Let's move on to the third area, which is furniture and home furnishings, right? So there are, all kinds of chemicals and neurotoxic solvents that are used to finish and treat furniture, make furniture, and home furnishings. And so some of the toxins I want to just list real quickly for you are VOCs, which stands for volatile organic compounds. And VOCs are commonly found in paint and, paint thinners and solvents and stains, things that you use to stain and treat furniture. Flame retardants, another really big one. And that one is this is another mouthful, polybrominated diphenyl ethers, PDBEs for short. You probably don't really have to worry about that too much. Just know that a lot of furnishing is made with that or treated with that. Stain-resistant coatings, another one, perchloroethylene, and that's the main ingredients that's used in dry cleaning solutions. So your dry cleaning clothes that you get dry cleaned have that in there as well. And it's typically added to drapes, carpets, couches, furnishings. And then the other one is PVC, polyvinyl chloride, which is basically soft plastic and vinyl, which you'll typically find in things like your shower curtains. And if you have really old furniture, I don't know if anyone still does this, but back in the 50s and the 60s and maybe even the 70s, a lot of people used to cover their furniture with clear plastic. And that's all really PVC harmful stuff. And the other area that is often overlooked, and I mentioned this in the past, is your bedroom. We spend probably about a third of our life in the bedroom, in our beds. And mattresses can be a source of not only a lot of allergens, but toxins as well. So old-style traditional mattresses are made with coils, and the coils, metal coils, and they're treated with substances to keep them from rusting and degrading over a long period of time. And then they fill up the rest of the mattress with materials like polyurethane foam, pesticide-laden cotton, basically just because it's cheaper to use regular, conventionally grown cotton than it is to use organic, and then flame retardant materials. And then to add insult to injury, the outside of the mattress is treated with a stain-resistant coating, water and stain-resistant coating. So that adds up to a whole lot of chemicals that you may be lounging around on and should continue to kind of pay closer attention to. So the good news is now there's a lot of options available on the market for mattresses and mattress toppers that are made with natural fibers, everything from wool to organic cotton to hemp to natural rubber, latex. There's a wide range of options available to you. And a lot of those materials, believe it or not, are actually superior to keeping your mattress and your bedding free of dust mites and other allergens. much more so than the chemically treated ones. And by the way, I'll be doing a session in the coming weeks on how to green your sleep routine. So I'll go into a lot more detail for you on what those options are and sort of what are the pros and cons of those. So make sure you tune in. And give me a shout out if you're finding this information useful, by the way. And, you know, the uncovering hidden health hazards, what I call hidden health mines, it's, you know, that's what I like to call them. And learning to replace them with healthier alternatives is one of the areas we'll be covering in great detail in the membership program, the Sustainable Wellness Success Circle. So if you think you might be interested in getting some early bird information on that, you know, all the details on how to have ongoing real wellness wisdom, expert tips and advice, natural solutions and remedies, and support to help you make the kind of lifestyle changes you need to make to be strong and healthy, then type in the word HOME, H-O-M-E, in the comments below, and I'll reach out to you shortly when I have all the details on that. And I'm pretty excited about it, as I may have mentioned in the past, and I think, you know, I think it's something you should consider doing. Anyway, real quick, with some of the ways you can protect yourself from the hazards of furniture and furnishing toxins. When you're ready to paint, if you're ready to paint your walls or furniture, what have you, switch to a no VOC or a low VOC paint. And again, remember, VOC stands for volatile organic compounds. And there's a lot more options available for that as well now, which is really a cool thing. Consider upgrading all or some of your furnishings to furniture made from natural fibers, okay? Not just the couches and the beds and the chairs and that sort of thing, but even your tables and your floors, you know, untreated wood, bamboo, reclaimable wood. There's a lot of green options for that as well. But at a minimum, start with your bed, because again, that's where you spend a significant amount of your time. And make sure that, you know, if you make sure you're using organic cotton encasings, like a zippered encasing that you can put around your mattress, you know, like a mattress pad, or over the mattress pad actually, and then your pillows. And that way you can reduce your exposure to the allergens, the dust mites and allergens in your bedding. And you can put a little bit, it's not a ton, but a little bit of a protective barrier between you and the chemicals that are being outgassed by the mattress. Okay, so if you're on a low budget, you can't afford to go all, you know, whole hog and spring for that, go for that, because that's at least going to help out with a little bit. Try to avoid furniture that's made with particle board and something called MDF, which is medium density fiber board. PV or PVC. So one thing you can do is replace your shower curtain. If you have a vinyl or a clear plastic shower curtain, replace it with a natural fiber fabric alternative like cotton or hemp or polyester, and that's fine too. And then I would highly recommend that you consider investing in a good air purifier. They're kind of expensive, but honestly, they really can help clean up the air in your indoor environment. They can trap dust and allergens and pollen and deodorize, you know, depending on the type of purifier you get. Like, there's slightly different ones out there. I would go all out and get one that has, like, you know, the charcoal filter for the smells, cleaning up the air smells, the dust, and then the HEPA, they call it HEPA, H-E-P-A. And then you might even consider getting, depending on the size of your home, you might consider getting more than one, like for the different areas where, especially the bedroom, right? Because you're spending a lot of time there, especially at night. And then maybe in your living room or your den or wherever you spend a lot of time, that might be a good place to put an air purifier. Okay, so I know I covered a lot here so far. Let's get to the last two areas you need to think about. So the next thing is your kitchen, plastics and dirt in your kitchen. So whether you cook or you get takeout or you order in, one of the areas that you may be inadvertently exposed to harmful toxins is if you're using plastic containers to store and heat your food up, right? And that's especially true if you're using a microwave to heat your food up. What you want to do is not use plastic. Make sure you use glass dishes or ceramic dishes to heat your food, and ideally to also store the food, right? Because remember, like, plastics do outgas and they leach chemicals. So the longer you store products in plastic container, the more likely they're going to be polluted by these ingredients that are outgassing. And aside from all environmental implications of using too much plastic, you know, there's the health aspect to consider. So again, at a minimum, use glass in the microwave. And I know, like, using glass because it's heavy and it's breakable, not very practical if you're taking food with you on the go, like taking your lunch out with you, or you're going on a picnic or wherever. So if you have to use plastic, make sure that the plastic you're using is BPA free. BPA stands for bisphenol A, which is another harmful EDC, endocrine disrupting chemical. So use like BPA free plastic, and use it for short stints, like things like I said, you're going to take your food on the go with you for a day. You know, it's only going to be in the container for a couple hours, should be okay. But don't store food long-term in plastic containers. That's my one big piece of advice for you on that. And then make sure that you like dust and clean out the coils on your fridge. Keep them free of dust. And you're going to want to, if you have a vent, like a fan or vent over your oven, over your stove, that you're going to want to clean out the filters or replace them on a somewhat regular basis, right? Because a lot of things can accumulate. And then my other suggestion to you is stop using air fresheners and sprays and things like Lysol, and just diffuse pure essential oils in your kitchen. And a great way to remove strong cooking odors, you know, to neutralize them, or any other funky odors that might be coming from your disposer, your garbage, or, you know, and, you know, like take out the garbage. That's also another way to deal with it. Okay, number 5, last but not least, is, okay, this one's another one that's kind of easy to not think about, which is garden pesticides and other allergens and things that you may be bringing into your home from the outside world, outdoor allergens, right? So there's all kinds of stuff, you know, residue on the sidewalks and the garden, whether you have your own home or you live in an apartment building where they use lawn fertilizer, pesticides, you know, in property, either in the front or in the back. There's a good chance that you're trekking some of that into your home on your shoes, on the soles of your shoes. So my big tip for you there is to make sure you take your shoes off either before you step into your home or as soon as you step into your home, so you can avoid tracking that all over your house and spreading those substances and allergens, because then they get into the floors. It's just really like, it's one of those really insidious things that you probably would never think about, right? Let me know, how many of you here already do that? Take off your shoes when you first come home, like before, you know, when you first enter your home. I'd just be curious to know. You know, like that's a tradition in Japan. A lot of people in Japan do that. I don't know if they do it for that reason, but they do take the shoes off when they come home. And the other thing is, if you buy something, anything like a, you know, piece of equipment or what have you, that it has been chemically treated, or you think it may be chemically treated, then you'll want to make sure you put that outside or in a well-ventilated area for a few days and let it outgas before you put it away and store it. And the same thing goes for your clothes if you get them dry cleaned. If you dry clean your clothes, when you bring them home, take the plastic off and let them air out, like in your bathroom or someplace in a well-ventilated room, before you put them in your closet and store them. Yeah, so that's it. So just a quick recap of the 5 different ways that you may be routinely exposed to toxins that are weakening your upper respiratory system and contributing to your allergy misery. So we talked about common household cleaning and laundry products. We want to move away from, you know, the ones with strong chemical smells to ones that are plant-based and free of ammonia, chlorine, and phosphates. And you remember the nose. So pay attention to that. You know, if it's obnoxious, then, you know, it's time to replace that with a nicer alternative. We talked about the scented air fresheners and candles, and how to like spend a little bit of time, or you should spend a little bit of time training your nose how to tell the difference between a natural and a chemical scent, because of the hidden dangers of scented products, both personal care and household. So air fresheners and candles. And so you want to avoid phthalates, and the way you avoid phthalates is by buying products that are made with pure essential oils, or that have clearly marked on the packaging or label that it's phthalate free. Phthalates. It would have a name like that, right? Number 3 was furniture and home furnishings. Pay attention, start in your bedroom, because you're spending like 30% or more of your time there, and you want to make sure that you're sleeping on a mattress that's not like outgassing all kinds of chemicals, or is harboring dust mites and other allergens, right? And so there are a lot of natural fiber alternatives on the market out today, and so you should like look into that if you haven't already. And then a minimum, get yourself some kind of organic cotton zippered encasings that you can put on your mattress and your pillows. And then also the other piece of that is that if you decide to paint, make sure you use low or no VOC paints or stain treatments for your furniture, and consider replacing other furniture with natural fiber alternatives. Number 4 was plastics in the kitchen and dirt. Don't store or heat your food in plastic containers, and if you have to use plastic, use it for short periods of time, and make sure it's BPA free. A lot of the plastics on the market now are, but not all of them. So you got to really pay attention to that. And then we talked last but not least about garden pesticides and things that you may be inadvertently trekking into your home from the outside world. That includes pathogens and bacteria, because like you walk around, there's dog poop on the ground, there's all kinds of stuff. So the best way to sort of protect yourself from that is to take your shoes off when you first come into your home, or even just before you step into your home, and try not to walk around in your home with shoes when you come in from the outside. That's really the best option for that. And then last but not least, I think that was it. Let's double check. Oh yeah, the chemically treated. If you're bringing chemically treated things into your home, whether they're products or dry clean clothes, make sure you air them out in a well-ventilated area, and then before you store them. So let them sit out and kind of let some of that chemical smell dissipate before you put it back in a closet or a storage area, or just leaving it somewhere in your home. And okay, I hope you found this information valuable. If you did, type in the comments below what was most valuable for you, or if you learned something today that you didn't already know. And remember, if you want to have early bird access to all the details and special member pricing for my new membership program, Sustainable Wellness Success Circle, type in the word HOME, H-O-M-E, in the comments below, and I'll reach out to you shortly with details on how to do that. And tune in next week when I talk about, I'm going to give you the lowdown on candles in your home. Are they toxic? Are they not? How can you tell which ones are safe? And we'll help you light the way. All right? Until then, be well,